Hey there, Heather Boyd Wire here.
Today I'm making fancy wire flower findings and clasps for bracelets and necklaces. You're going to need 20 gauge wire, your looping pliers, flush cutters, flat pliers, and some 6mm beads. We're going to start with about 4 inches and clip the end flush, and then take the beadle-on bail making pliers to make a little loop with the smallest size loop on the pliers. So we're going to start and make one, and then we're going to go to the next spot and make another loop right beside there, finishing the wire at a bit of an angle. And then the next loop we're going to bring to the opposite side. So we're bringing a loop to the front, a loop to the back, and we're just going to keep wiggling them around so they're right beside each other and sitting flat. So there we have 3 loops, and then we're going to keep going and then bring the next one to the back there, bring the wire right around so that loop fits right snugly in there. And we're just going to have the wire at a bit of an angle to go to the next spot because we want these to form a full circle. So we're going to bring it around slowly, just do a little bend, a little wiggle, and then we are going to do another one. So there's 6 loops all together to form the complete circle. So just keep bringing it around so the wire goes behind the first loop there. And then we're going to do a last loop. So we actually have 7 loops, but 2 of them are stacked on top of each other so that this will be more solid and the flower won't come apart when you attach it with the jump rings or the middle bead sections. So clip that really flush, pinch it down with the tweezer nose pliers, and we have those 2 loops that are stacked to finish it off. And make sure they're lined up. Just wiggle it around a little bit if you need to, and that's our basic piece. Now, if you want to make a hook attached to it, so on the last one, we're just going to bend one of the wires straight up. So we've done just a single loop, and we're going to, they're like half loops, I would call them. So we're going to bring this one around to the end. So each wire has like half of the circle. So it ends up being a single loop. And then we're going to pinch that so it's nice and snugly in there, and then we will clip the end. We want to clip it really flush, and then we need to get the tweezer nose pliers to pinch that end in. Make sure it's nice and secure. So now we're going to form a hook. So getting a larger section of the bail making pliers to bring the wire around. If that's too wide, flip your pliers around and make it a little bit more narrow. So there's our little hook, and we will bring the end around. You can use these fancy hooks for necklaces or bracelets, and then we're going to clip that end so it's flush and pinch it in with the tweezer nose pliers. Just pinch that end right in there, and then you might have to wiggle it around a little bit more to get it more closed. So that's your hook, and now you can set it up how you want your bracelet. And we will get another piece of 20 gauge wire, bend it at an angle, and we're going to make a loop. So bring it around to make a loop. I'm using the second smallest section of the bail making pliers, so the loop's a little bit bigger. It'll have a little bit more give when it's on the bracelet. And now we're going to hook on one of the flowers. I've just put it on with the piece with the double loop there. Put it right through, and then twist it, give it a full twist around. This is going to make it more solid. You could just bend it into a loop without twisting it around, but for a bracelet, this makes it much more solid. So pinch in that end so there's no little pokey ends, and then we could put on our 6mm miracle bead. You guys know those are my favorite beads. I'll link up all my materials and tools in the description below the video. So now we're going to make another loop on the other side, and then we need to hook in the next one. So this one I'm just going to put it in the single loop so it's more consistent on the bracelet. So just slide it right on there. Hold it with the tweezer nose pliers. These pliers are very practical to get in tiny little spaces. And then we're going to clip it with the flush cutters. Those are the Xuron flush cutters and the Xuron tweezer nose pliers. So we've attached the two flowers together. And then we're going to put on another one on the end with the hook. So we're going to bring that around and finish it off. So we have all the pieces and then the end piece, which is the hook for the bracelet. And then we're going to pinch in that end so it's not pokey. So we have the bracelet, but then we have to do another loop on the other end to put the hook into. So what we're going to do is do a kind of infinity sign shape for the loop on the end. So start with a loop, hook it on to the bracelet, just wiggle it right in there, and get your tweezer nose pliers and twist that end around. Give it a good little tug. So that's our first loop, and then we're going to clip it flush. Just clip it right in there. And then with the tweezer nose pliers, we're going to pinch it right in there so it's not going to move around and there's no little pokey ends. Give it a little twist if you need to. And then we need to do another loop. So we're going to get the looping pliers and bring the wire around the opposite direction. So it's like a little 8 or an infinity sign shape. And then hold that end and bring the wire around. We've made the second loop a little bit bigger so we could get the hook in there. And then we're going to clip that flush and get our tweezer nose pliers, and we're going to pinch in that little end. Just pinch it in so it's nice and secure, and just adjust it as you need so it's straight. Last little pinch so it's smooth. And there is the completed bracelet, and it just hooks together like that. Very pretty dangly bracelet. So now if you want to do a simple clasp with the flowers to use with any other kind of necklace or bracelet, we are going to start in the same way by making the flower. So we're doing our loops the same way as we did with the little findings, alternating to the front and the back so it sits flat, making sure the wires are at a little bit of an angle so it'll form a circle. And this time we're just doing 5 loops. So we're just going to go around, wiggle them around so they fit together. The looping pliers are great because you're going to get the loops all the same size. So keep going around. Go slowly, take your time with it, wiggle it back and forth. So now we have 5 loops, and we're going to get our fine round nose pliers to bend up one of the wires. And then just hold it firmly and twist the other wire around. Grab the end with the tweezer nose pliers, give it a little wiggle, and clip it flush. And we can just push that little end in so it's not pokey and pinch it in with the tweezer nose pliers. So that's our starting point. And then just to do the loop, we can bring it around. Just wiggle it right in there to do the little loop end. So you can just clip it flush, or you can twist it around if you want it more secure. You could always give it a little hammer to harden it up. So that's the loop end. Now if you're doing the hook, just get the looping pliers, bring it around, push it right down there, and then we're going to need the fine round nose pliers. These are stainless steel pliers with a really nice tip, so you can make small little loops, and then if you want it even smaller, you just give it a little tug and it'll make it smaller. And then we'll clip the end flush and take the flat pliers again, pinch it right down there, and then you can use the looping pliers to push it down to close that gap. And there you have your clasp with the 5-loop flower.
So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire art and jewelry, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below, I'll send you my Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.